Alright, Sunday morning, birds are singing, sun's shining. Good day to go get the car media blasted. Hopefully the blaster remembers I'm coming today. It'll be a little bit of a long drive there and back if he doesn't. Anyway, we're supposed to be there for 11. It's about 8 o'clock now. And I think we're going to leave around 9:30. So we're going to add a few more straps and then we shall be ready to go. Alright, we made it to the sandblasters. We're just getting the forklift. Thank God they got the forklift. That should make it easy to get the car off the trailer. So, one last final look prior to the media blasting. Hopefully, not going to have too many holes as mentioned. Some of you have made some guesses already. I see that we already have a couple holes that we know about. There's actually a hole here. You can sort of see it in the bottom of that trunk drop. I was kind of aware of that, but obviously out in the sun you can see a few more things that you didn't see in a darkened garage. And we know about that hole over there on the wheel arch, but other than that we don't really see anything else that needs any attention, but we'll find some more once it gets blasted. Well, the guy didn't show up, so Les has volunteered to do the sandblasting today. So he's got the hopper all ready to go. He's going to just man up and not use any equipment to do it. No hood, no respirator, nothing. Just going to go at it. So he's going to turn the pressure all the way up and see if he finds any holes. Alright, so she's up on the sawhorses. I'm sure you're getting tired of looking at it in this condition, so the next time you see her, she'll be naked. Here we go, just starting off. I think we had a little bit of trouble setting up the equipment, getting the pressure right, but there's the start of it. Alright, just taking a break to refill the hopper. I thought I'd jump in here real quick and have a look. See all that brazing now more clearly on this side. It's coming up pretty good though. I do see a few areas of concern here. I kind of knew it was a little rough in here anyway, so I need some work in here. Trunk's looking not bad. Also need some work in here. Back in here, and again look at all the brazing on this side. Wow, this car's had a ton of work done to it. So we just left off here. Yeah, it's coming up pretty good. So we're about an hour and a bit into it. Makes you feel a lot better having it down to bare metal, that's for sure. And all that rust off of it. Alright, that's it for now. So this is the way to work, Les? We're sitting here in our nice air-conditioned comfort. Les is surfing away on his iPad. Well, he's starving to death and he needs a drink, but other than that, we're sitting here in our nice air-conditioned comfort, and we're watching this poor guy over here
sweat his nuts on.
sweating to death and sandblasting in 29 degrees Celsius weather. So, we doing the right thing?
Yep.
We're doing the right thing.
For you, yeah. Me, no. I feel guilty.
All right, we'll bring you back when it's done. Poor guy. Well, definitely taking a lot longer than I thought it would. I thought it would take about 2 hours, but I think we're going on close to, it's going to be closer to 3 hours, if not longer. So, getting there. I think he's almost finished the engine bay, and I think he's got one more wheel well to go, and I think we should be good. Alright guys, just about 6:30 or so and back safely in the Taj Mahal. So just wanted to let you know that we spent about 3.5 hours of actual blasting time up there, and the total bill, for those of you that might want to know, was $400. So $400 for 3.5 hours of blasting. I think we were probably there for about 4.5 hours total. There was some setup time. Obviously moving the car off the trailer, getting it set up on the sawhorses, etc. took a little bit of time, and then obviously getting it back off again. So like I said, there was a little bit of a setup time in there as well. So very, very happy with the results. Obviously I can see everything now that needs to be repaired. There were some areas that popped up that I wasn't aware of, but nothing too scary. The one that scares me the most are the hinge point mounts for the bonnet are in pretty bad shape. So you can see how holy those are on both sides actually. A lot of rust down there. So this is a sort of a two-part patch. So it might take a little bit of effort to get this rectified, and you can see there's quite a bit of brazing around that one. So that's always fun when you get into old brazing work. Now, there's lots of areas on here that are a little bit lacy, so a little bit thin, that we'll have to rectify, but not too bad. For example, here's an area here which was deeply pitted and now actually has a few holes, so we're going to have to be doing some work here, for example. What I'm going to do now, I think, is I'm going to get it back up on the wooden bucks so I can get to the bottom of the car. The bottom of the car was done as well. So we're going to work on the bottom of the car first, maybe do a little bit of, tiny bit of body work, and then we'll get that into epoxy right away. We really need to get the whole body tub into epoxy as soon as possible. There are some certain areas I'd like to fix before I get it into epoxy. I'm still of an old school opinion that, my preference is to put filler on top, directly on top of metal, not on top of epoxy primer. So there may be some areas where I want to do the filler work before I actually put the epoxy on top. So we're going to see how things go. I don't want to spend a lot of time on getting the body work done or the filler work done, because the epoxy will need to go on before this starts to flash rust, and that can be a matter of days depending on the weather, depending on the humidity, for example. So anyway, that's where we're at. We'll maybe bring you back once I get the bucks on, and we'll flip it around a little bit and you can see some of the areas that need to be repaired. I'll have to give them a count, I guess, because some of you answered my query as to how many holes we're going to uncover with this blasting session. So we'll try to count the holes. I thought I'd just give you a quick look at this side where we just got it suspended slightly. We're in the process of putting the wooden bucks back on, so it's going to be dark out here soon, so I thought I'd just give you a quick overview of this side. Again, a little bit lacy back in here, so we need to do some fixing there, do some fixing there with some rust coming through. Showed you this already in the corners here, both sides. The trunk doesn't actually look too bad. There's a corner piece, I think, down here that we knew about. Would have to be, we'll need some work down here. So got to dig some seam sealer out there and see what's behind that. Obviously the blaster had a hard time with that. And other than that, doesn't look too bad on this side. Again, we have to have a little closer look with some bright light. And like I said, this is really the only sort of concerning piece for me, is this piece here. But we've done worse. We've repaired worse, let's say. Anyway, looks like we got a little bit of work to do up here. A little bit of laciness there. Anyway, it's looking nice and clean anyway, so we can definitely see a lot more things to repair, but it doesn't look too daunting, so that's a good thing. Wearing gloves so I don't get my oily fingers on it or greasy fingers on it. We definitely don't want to do that, so we'll be changing gloves frequently when we're working on or touching the car. So anyway, I hope I give that a bit of an overview. I'm going to go and take the trailer back with Les, and we'll come back and we'll play around a little bit more in the garage before we call it the night. Pretty tired actually, for doing not much today. Just kind of hanging out and watching the guy work. Alright, 9:15. We're back from dropping the trailer off, and I've been continuing on with my work to put the wooden bucks back on the car, so they're on successfully and tightened up. So I think it's about time to flip it over and show you the bottom, and that'll be it for today. Been an awfully long day. I think I started moving this morning at about 7 o'clock. I think I left the house this morning just to start running errands for the day, and like I said, it's now 9:15, so we'll play around for a little bit more and then we'll call it a night. Anyway, we'll get her flipped over, give you a quick look, and then that'll be it for the night. Alright, here we go. Alright, here we go. It's a little bit dark, but you can probably get the picture. You see a little bit of rust through there. Floors actually look pretty good. So these were new floors anyway, so good to see that there's no rust through even at the fronts. Seem to have cleaned up pretty nicely. Even the tunnel cleaned up pretty nice. So this was pretty rough looking back in here, so that cleaned up nicely. Don't see any holes, which is good. And then the bottom of the spare tire carrier looks pretty good. Corners don't look too bad, and you can see some rust through there, just on that bottom round section. But actually the bottom of the trunk pan looks pretty good. So yeah, all in all, I think the bottom of the car looks pretty darn good. I don't think we'll need too much work on that. I might do a little bit of filler just on where I put the patch in, maybe just a little bit of fiberglass filler over that. It is going to be covered with Raptor liner anyway, so maybe that's overkill. Anyway, there's a shot of the bottom. The wheel wells actually looked pretty good. A little bit of rust through there. We'll have to fix that drop section. But not too bad. So, probably not going to count the holes tonight. Not a lot of holes on the bottom side, but definitely some holes on the top side. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. Alright, I think we're going to call it a night. And like I said, we'll get back out here bright and early tomorrow. I've got the next 3 days off, hopefully, if all goes well. So we plan to be out here 100% of the time. And like I said, maybe we'll get the bottom for sure into epoxy primer, and then possibly the Raptor liner after that. We'll maybe just concentrate on epoxy first and then come back and do the Raptor after. I haven't really thought about my process yet, but we'll think about it overnight and come up with a plan for tomorrow. Alright guys, one wide angle and we're done for the night. Alright, have a good night. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and thanks for commenting. Night.